Hi, my name's Jeff Rhodes, and this is another video based on my book, Creating Business Applications with Microsoft 365. So I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and check out the book if you want. It's up on Amazon and other resellers. So today what I wanted to talk about is the testing functionality you can get from here inside of Power Apps, this test. So let me set up this app a little bit and I'll talk about test. And so you might remember this form from a couple videos ago, and it's a front end to an electronic signature workflow. And we've got some required information, and I had this error label. You can kind of see it's named over here, error label. And I said its visible property to be based on, I can format that a little bit better, be based on whether we've got information in all the fields they required, the title, the recipient name, subject, and body. And then I'm also checking if the email text is in the correct format, the a@b.com kind of thing. And then what I did next is on this submit button, I checked this error label visible and then just didn't do anything, and otherwise did this whole patch and everything. But I could have actually done something a little better here that I do now is I'll disable this button, which means I don't really even have to do this check on the visible. So let's do that, and then I want to set up some tests to just check to make sure that that functionality is working. Maybe over time I add additional fields that are required and I needed to update that functionality, or I delete some and I haven't updated my logic and now I've sending out a broken app, and I can do an automated test to just make sure that's working, which is basically once everything's required, this goes away and this is enabled, and before I do that, it's visible here and this is disabled. So let me go over to the display mode is how you do that. And this is what we call an enumeration. So it's either edit, you can click the dot and see it's either edit, disabled, or view. I'll just cut that for a second. So do a little bit of logic and basically look at that error label. And if it's visible, then what I want is I want it to be disabled. So I say display mode dot disabled. If it's not visible, which means it's invisible, then I want to set it to edit, which is its previous default. So you see when I do that now, since I'm not in that state, it will enable, or it's disabled now until I enable it. So if I do a quick test, I'll just put something wrong in here and put that, it's still visible and disabled. But if I make this a@b.com, it becomes enabled, this goes away kind of thing. But I want to, instead of doing that manually, I want to set that up as a test. So I just give you an idea how this functionality works. So, all right, let's do it. So as I mentioned, we come over here and we open test. And it's not really all intuitive of what to do with it. First, I'm going to leave the suite alone, but I'm just going to say something like verify enabling submit button and hiding error label. And a little trick, you can type the step in, but if you just put the action in first, it just copies that over. So if you don't need it to be different, it saves you a little time. So we just start typing and we just say set property, and we're just got to remember our name. But it gives us nice IntelliSense. So I'll say titlebox.test and just say this is a test. And we just keep typing in set property. Whoops. We'll say recipient name box.in.text. Put my name in there. Oops. Just trying to tab out of there. I guess that doesn't work. Set property. Recipient email box. I'll put in a valid email. I'll just go ahead and put my Not in there. And again, you've seen that already, but notice when I go out of it, it copies that over. So I could put a more descriptive name in, but gives it some sort of label. And then I want to go ahead and do one more of these. And we'll do the subject. There we go. And now what I want to do is, before I put the last one in, I want to assert is how I test it. And so what I expect, compare it to what it actually is. So I use this assert method, and again, in this case, I'm going to look for the error label. I'm going to check it's visible. Equals, and what do I expect it? I expect it to be true because I haven't gotten to the body yet. And similarly, I can assert that I expect the submit button, display mode, pull it there, equals that enumeration, display mode dot disable. And then I'll go in and set the last box, the set property, the body. Be some body text here. Again, it really doesn't matter what I put in. Now what I can do, since I don't want to type it all in, I'll just copy these over. So now that I'm done, I want the error label visibility to be false. And I want the submit to be edit. So I save this, and then I play, which I want to publish. It can take a second, but I'm going to leave it for a minute. And actually, I'll pause for a second, but as soon as I'll start it, as soon as it starts kind of getting its progress bar, and we'll be able, because it'll immediately launch the test. So I'll pause now. All right, it's back, so you can see it's starting to run it, and it's putting this in as we go along, putting the email, the subject, the body. Now it's checking if the error label is visible. Yes, it's disabled. Now they put the body text in and checked it again, and we got it done. So how it worked was exactly what we expected, and we can now play that at any time. And I didn't really click on it, but notice you can even do some stuff before and after, it's complete and so forth. But we can, now that we published it, we can do it again. Whoops. Actually, I thought we didn't have to publish it again, but I don't want to do that. But we could publish it and play it again anytime we want it. So hope that's helpful to you, and that you find some mechanisms in your applications to set up some automated tests. I look forward to seeing you next time.